Welcome to Is It Any Good? I'm Cliff Chance, and today I'm going to talk about John Wick 3, Parabellum. I remember when I first saw the trailer for the first movie, I thought, man, this looks like a bad movie. I didn't even see that one in theaters, actually, and then once I finally did see it, uh, I actually quite enjoyed it, and now here we are, wrapping up the third chapter, and right when I got out of the theater, I found out there was a fourth one on the way, and pretty excited about that. But let's get to it. The plot of this one, it follows John Wick right after the end of the second one, where he's on the run about an hour away from being excommunicado and having every assassin in New York try to hunt him down for $14 million. One thing that happens at the beginning of this movie, not to give anything away, is John Wick makes sure the his new dog gets to safety before all hell rains down on him, and I really like that part of the movie, along with a bunch of other parts of the movie. But for me, we'll get in with the good first. Obviously, the action with any of these movies is just amazing. The fight choreographs are it's incredible how they do, and the amount of training that they have to do. Some of the it's almost just as cool as a movie is watching these actors train for these scenes that they film and how it all pans out. They always seem to do something new with each one too that kind of stands out from the other movies. With that being said, some of the death scenes in this movie were actually really innovative and creative compared to some of the other ones. In the last movie, we got to see him kill a few people with a pencil. In this one, he kills a guy with a book. And then there's a few other ones that I'm not going to give away. The book one happens right at the beginning of the movie. Keanu Reeves, this is a role that he was born to play. He does this role very well. He's just very believable as this assassin that's out for revenge and now just kind of been brought back into the world that he tried to escape from. Halle Berry in this movie does a great job. She has a couple of scenes with her and her dogs that are just really great, and the way she commands them. It's almost like she clearly had the same training Keanu Reeves had, and knocks it out of the park with her action scenes. I think they even had her actually train with these dogs so that they actually listened to her and knew what she was asking them to do. It was just one of the scenes about the middle of the movie that is just really great with these dogs and her character. Mark Dacascos, I probably just mispronounced his name. He's from Iron Chef America as well as a bunch of 90s martial arts movies. He plays the villain in this movie, and I think he is probably the best villain of the series for me. He had a lot of personality, especially coming behind a couple of the assassins and the main villain of the last movie, who to me had no personality, wasn't fun to watch. This guy is very fun to watch. Him and his group of ninjas, they kind of disappear in and out of the shadows, which was really cool effect. But I mean, you could see him in the background, but then you're not really sure if that's a person, and then they would pop out and kill who they needed to kill and disappear again. A lot of the sequences with them are really cool. And then John Wick at the end has a really good fight scene with him and his students, as he calls them, of his ninjas. Lance Reddick, the concierge at the Continental, they gave him a little bit of action in this movie, which I thought was cool. I've always liked him in the roles that he's played. And then, of course, Ian McShane is great in his role as Winston, and they kind of give him a little bit more into the plot with this one. He's a little bit more center stage with this than he has been in the past as just being a supporting character. Lawrence Fishburne is also phenomenal. Him and Keanu Reeves have great chemistry together. I mean, that was one of the better parts of The Matrix, was how they interacted with one another in that movie, and they bring it to these movies too. For the most part, I really did enjoy this movie. There were a couple bads for me. Number one was a couple of the fight scenes did go on a little bit too long. Like, they could have edited it down a little bit, or maybe not had it go like where he gets his ass kicked for too much, and it's like, all right, when's he gonna start coming back? Because I know we got a few more fight scenes to go after this. And then for me, the major thing for me that was just I have a hard time getting over. With these movies, you have to suspend your level of disbelief a little bit, and with the stuff that John Wick survives. But towards the end of this movie, like the last 5 minutes, he survived something, and it's just, all right, like how? Like I wish, like I'm not mad that he survived it. I mean, it's a movie. I just wish they made it a little bit more believable than they did. Clearly, this movie is setting up a number four. As I said earlier, that because right when I got out, I found out that they announced a sequel. Yeah, it's fine. I'm looking forward to it. I just wish what would happen at the end of this movie was a little bit more believable than it was. But I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10. I was gonna give it, like, watching the movie, I was like, oh, it's definitely 9 out of 10, if not a 10 out of 10 for me. But I'm gonna drop it down to an 8 just because of that ending. I don't think it ruins the movie. It just, for me, it didn't work. But that's what I thought. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. I'm Cliff Chance, and this is It Any Good? Subscribe to the channel. Thank you.